This is the She Dares to Travel podcast, and I am your host, Raquella Pollock. After spending a decade managing the #1 travel agency in Canada and now working with tourism businesses in risk management, I am here to connect you with women who are taking the travel industry by storm, as well as business professionals with a passion for travel, just like me. We are here to inspire, motivate, and uplift you to not only follow, but plan out your dreams, no matter where in the world they may be. Be sure to leave a review, subscribe, and follow along. Welcome back to the She Dares to Travel podcast, where we are uncovering stories of remarkable women shaping the landscape of the tourism industry. I am thrilled to introduce today's guest, a true pioneer in sustainable tourism and a force to be reckoned with. Joining us today is Kathy MacRae, the Executive Director of the Commercial Bear Viewing Association. But her influence doesn't stop there. She also wears the hat of the President at the Wilderness Tourism Association and co-chair at the Adventure Tourism Coalition. All the adventure is what I want to say about that. With a relentless commitment to fostering sustainable practices within the industry, Kathy is leading the charge for positive change. Her dedication and vision have earned her prestigious accolades, including the Royal Roads University Founders Award in Leadership and the Tourism Industry Professionals Award for Outstanding Contributions. And last night, at the Tourism Industry Association of BC's Awards Gala, she was a finalist for the Sector Association Excellence Award. So get ready, sit back, and get ready to be inspired as we dive into everything about bears, adventure tourism, Kathy's journey, and her passion for sustainable tourism. Kathy.
Hi.
Hi. Thanks for being here today.
Well, thanks for having me here today.
I am so excited, and one of my first in-person interviews.
Oh, well, that's fun.
Yes.
Oh my
even
gosh.
Better.
That's so great.
Even better.
Thank you.
So you're so welcome. You're so welcome.
That was quite the introduction.
I love doing the intro so you can hear, because it is so amazing, and sometimes hearing it said to you, it's a little bit different.
It is.
A little bit different.
Yeah.
So tell us a bit about yourself. Where do you live, and how did this all come to be?
Oh gosh, what a story. What a story.
Let's start from the beginning.
Let's start from the very beginning. Well, I was raised in Toronto.
Okay.
I spent 5 years of my life in Connecticut, and 5 glorious years, like 1 through 5, and living on the beach and every day frolicking. And I've always felt that that's where the passion for water and the outdoors, whatever, was fostered. And then we moved to the big city of Toronto. I spent 17 years of my life there, and then got the travel bug after university. And I started traveling, and I lived in Japan, and then I moved to Roatan, Honduras, and that's where the bug for conservation started.
Damn.
And then now I live in Souk, and I have lived all over the province and doing different jobs in the remote resort industry. And now here I am as the Executive Director of the Commercial Bear Viewing Association, living in Souk with my 2 dogs.
Oh, I love
I'm just loving my life.
And how long have you been with the Bear Viewing Association?
Since 2016.
2016, yeah, that's a while.
Yeah.
Circling back to your time traveling, Japan, Honduras, what was that like, and what were you doing in those places?
Well, I don't do things small.
I like it.
Right? So I met somebody in my last year of university who had just come back from the JET program. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? What's that? Yeah. And she's like, it's the Japanese Exchange Teachers Program. And when I was in elementary school, I had a friend, and her name was Aki Fujimura. And we were great friends, and I'd always had an interest in the Japanese culture. And so when this person told me about the JET program, I was like, what's this? And this is kind of like before the internet, but I'm like, no. And so I applied. I put all my eggs in that basket. Wow. And I remember going and doing the interview, and it was in front of a panel of 3 people and trying to explain who I was and what I would be doing there and why I deserved to go to Japan and teach English to Japanese students. And I remember the day that they said yes. And I was like, holy crap. Now what? I had never left North America before, and I was moving to Japan. And I was moving to Japan for the minimum of a year. And it was great because they put us through cultural training and language training and all that kind of stuff. But I remember my first couple days in Tokyo, because we were set up in Tokyo for 3 days to do more training when we got there. And I remember not looking the right way and almost getting hit by a car.
That can happen.
Yeah.
That is so funny because I have a similar story. When I was in Japan and I was with a girlfriend, I was walking across the street and she's yelling, "We don't have the right of way! Get off the road!" It happens.
It does happen. Yeah. So I was there and I was teaching English in 4 different high schools and I loved it. I had Japanese friends. I learned how to play the taiko drums. I played in festivals and I decided to stay for a second year. And it was the best experience. I traveled all over Southeast Asia. I spent a month in Australia with one of my best friends when she was there for a year, and I loved it. And the time came for me to leave, and I said, I'm going to get my working holiday visa and I'm going to go to Australia. I'm going to do that. And I got the visa and I went, I don't want to do that. I need to go home and start my life. So I went home, but I stopped in Vancouver.
Yeah.
And I stayed with a friend, and I got a futon mattress and I put it on her living room floor and I helped pay her rent and I ended up getting a job. I'm like, well, I guess I'm not going home to start my life.
Well, you started in Vancouver.
I started in Vancouver.
Yeah.
But that was supposed to be a 2-week stop. Turned into 4 months. And in that time, while I was away in that month-long trip to Australia, I did my diving certification. Okay. And I got my open water dive course, and we got lost at sea in the outer reef of Australia. And we watched the boat dip beyond the horizon. I still have the newspaper clipping of like helicopters gunned up on land, ready to come look for us. We're staying together as a group, right? The instructor was a brand new instructor. It was nuts. But it was then when I said, I don't ever want to not be on that side. Like, I don't want to be on this side ever again. I want to be on that side. I want to be the person who is the instructor, the person who's in control, the person who knows what to do in this. And so I stopped in Vancouver and I did my dive master. And the guys at the dive master shop were like, if you want to go somewhere and work, go to Roatan, Honduras. So I was working as a server and I had flubbed my way into my first serving gig. And I was like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. I'm like, I have zero clue what I'm doing.
Fake it till you make it.
Totally.
Fake it till you make it.
But I saved enough money. And I remember I put it under my mattress in a brown paper bag. And I saved enough money for a plane ticket, dive gear, and a little bit of cash when I got there. I was supposed to stay for it was a 6-month ticket. I was supposed to stay for 4 months and then go to Costa Rica and go surfing for 2 months, then come home and start my life. Love it. Go to Toronto and be responsible and start my life. Yeah, I ended up getting malaria.
Okay.
As you do in Honduras. And I decided to stay. And I remember cheersing in the bar when my flight from San Jose, Costa Rica was leaving to go to Toronto. And I was sitting in a bar in Roatan, Honduras. Wow. And I'm like, I guess I'm not. 5 years later, I decided to leave because I got the case of responsibilities and needed to go home and start my life.
There seems to be a trend here.
There does.
There seems to be a trend. I see how this is going. I see.
Yeah.
5 years in Honduras. What a story. And that is, I can see how it sparked your sense of adventure.
Totally.
So how does someone, for those listening that are wanting to maybe go on an adventure like this, but maybe can't get that feeling of like doing it, how would you explain the best way to actually jump into a move like that head first?
Oh gosh. Well, now that I am, at the tail end of my 40s, and I have a different perspective on things, it's harder now.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's times where that kind of floats through my head. It's like, I used to do that.
Yeah.
What's stopping me now? And, there's dogs and there's a job that I love and there's a house that I own and there's a car and all of my work. I used to be really proud that everything that I owned could fit into, besides what was in my dad's garage, could fit into 2 bags and I was fine, right? I could travel from place to place and it was 2 bags and it was, but now there's more, right? And there's that ever looming sense of responsibility. And I think when you're young, there's that carefreeness and it's like, who cares? Just go for it.
Yeah.
Now there's that carefreeness is still there. There's just a little bit more to consider. So I've lived in my house for 4 years now and I love it. I own my house out there. And before that I had places like I had a condo in Victoria and I've lived around British Columbia in different resorts and stuff like that. But that sense of adventure is still there. And I think the thing that needs to just be understood about all of it is just do it and know that when you jump, there is a net that's going to be there to catch you. As scary as that is, you can do it. Great. Right? If that sense of adventure is there, that I just got goosebumps. If it's there for you and you have like an inkling, just try. And you'll never, your life will change and it will change for the better.
Yeah, that's well said. Very well said. Because I think it's easy enough, and you're so bang on. The older that we get, like I wanted to jump out of all the planes and ride motorcycles, and now I'm like, why would I do that?
Yeah.
I still might jump out of a plane, but
I just sold my motorcycle a couple of years ago.
See, good for you. Good for you.
Yeah,
it is an interesting thing, and I think maybe that's a really good reminder for all of us that as we continue to grow, there's still adventure to be had, and it can look maybe in a different form. You don't have to go move somewhere for 4 months, but maybe we could go work abroad if we can work remotely now and find a different pace of life and live like a local somewhere else. So very, very interesting.
Yeah. Or find different things that makes your travel rewarding for you now.
Absolutely.
That kind of thing. Because, values change and whatever. But I think the adventure is just in us.
Yeah.
And because of that, like that fire is always just kind of percolating, right? So
very true. And what an incredible story you have, and the things that you've seen. I think that's the best part. That's the best part. What do you think is there any top of mind crazy stories that happened? Honduras,
oh my gosh,
Australia. I know, I'm sure there's a lot. Let's focus on Honduras. Okay. 5 years. 5 years. We'll pick that one. What is a top story that you would like to share?
As a dive instructor, right, it was so fun. It was fun to wake up in the morning and put a bikini and board shorts on and your flip-flops and go to work, right?
Yeah.
In small town, and by town, I mean literally 1 kilometer of beach road when I was there. And, if you don't want to see people, you put your sunglasses on and you're like, I'm not here. If I can't see you, you can't see me. But everybody, right? It's totally that way of life. One of the most powerful stories that I have from being a dive instructor was not just watching somebody take their first breaths under the water, because that itself, every single time, was phenomenal. Like listening to yourself sound like Darth Vader, also kind of fun every single time. But, watching somebody overcome a serious fear of breathing under the water and wrap their arms around it and become a diver was like the most rewarding experience of being a dive instructor that I think I could ever have. I sat with a woman one time who was so scared of the water. And I had to go take her to do what's called a Discover Scuba Diving. And it's, you do knowledge review number 1, confined water number 1, and then you're supposed to go out onto the boat and do a dive number 1 to minimum 40 feet, maximum 40 feet, not minimum, maximum.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. And it's, this woman was so scared. She was scared of the water. She was scared of the waves. She was scared of getting wet. And for some reason, she needed to experience this. And the resort was like pushing her into this. And I'm like, okay. So we ended up holding hands. And I remember saying to her, the water is here to hold you. The water is here to protect you. The water is here for you. It's not here to hurt you. And she ended up putting her face in the water and she blew bubbles. And that was the end of it for her. But it took pretty much all afternoon for her to get to that point. And I will forever and for always remember this woman, because she knew somewhere in her that if I step outside of my comfort zone, something really cool is going to happen. And she blew bubbles.
Wow.
Yeah.
I bet you she remembers that.
I hope so.
I guarantee it that she remembers that, and maybe she's a diver now today too. You never know, right?
Yeah.
That is powerful. And again, it's the reminder to step outside your comfort zone, do the things that you don't think you can do.
Yeah.
But then the moment you do it, it's a little bit less scary to do something else or move forward or continue forward with it too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That is incredible.
And then lots of other fun ones that probably aren't appropriate for
I mean, let's go with one.
1, oh.
We gotta go with one inappropriate. Come on. This can't be all PG.
Well, dancing on a bar is always fun.
Oh, perfect.
Great.
Done.
That's good. At a place called Twisted Toucan. Because, there's the toucan that's there and we're all dancing on the bar. Total Coyote Ugly style.
Twisted Toucan. Is it still there today?
No, sadly.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I know.
I'm going to try to find it, though, and just see what it looked like online.
Oh, totally. Yeah. And the owner, Daniela, she was fantastic. She lives in Grand Cayman now with a husband and 2 kids and is a yoga instructor. But we used to rip it up at her bar and have so much fun. Yeah.
Do you still keep in touch with a lot of the people you met through your travels?
I always say that I grew up in Roatan.
Okay.
Yeah, I spent the latter part of my 20s in Roatan, and it was pretty informative years for me.
Yeah.
I feel I did a lot of spiritual growth there. I did a lot of like internal. It was stepping outside of comfort zones. Like both of my parents in 2 separate parts of the country said to me, you know, the political strife there, you know, they carry guns there. And I was robbed 6 times in 3 years. And, you know, you develop some pretty hardcore street skills living in a third world country like that. But the girlfriends that you have from, you know, university or 20s, that group of girls, they're in Roatan.
Really?
Yeah. They're married. They have businesses. They have houses. They're there.
Yeah.
And I used to go back every year, and now it's been about 6-7 years.
Oh, wow.
And I'm planning to go back this year. Yeah.
You've got to go back.
Yeah.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Interesting how that goes when it's the growing up. It's and I wonder, before you left, were people telling you not to go because of the political strife?
To go when I was moving there?
When you're moving?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big thing that plays into our fears and our comfort zones too, because it's one thing to get so excited about a trip and then all of a sudden you start sharing that excitement and other people don't meet it. Their fears start coming out to say, oh, no, you can't do that. You can't do that.
Yeah. Well, actually, you know what? For clarity, my parents were great. They just said it. Okay. It wasn't don't go.
Yeah.
It was be aware of this situation and that we're concerned.
Okay. Yes.
We're going to trust you to make the right decision.
Yeah.
I don't know if they thought in the end that I did. And
Twisted toucan.
Let me tell you, they didn't hear about me getting malaria twice and getting robbed 6 times until I moved home.
I can see how you would want to omit that.
Right? Yeah. But, you know, it's fun.
Yeah, very fun. But it's fun.
But it's fun. It's just part of life.
It is a part of it. And like, good for you for, with those robberies, not wanting to leave right away.
Yeah.
It still didn't taint your experience.
Oh, no. And one of them was really early on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is all solo travel too. So what type of tips would you give for someone that is looking to do a solo trip? For...
Oh, gosh.
I know.
Yeah.
It's a hard one.
It is a hard one. And it's weird because I never thought of myself as solo because I always had people around. You know, I mean, even though going to Japan was solo, but I was there with a company. Moving to Roatan, I got off the plane alone, but I landed in a hostel and immediately had friends.
So there's the tip right there.
Yeah.
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 Figure out ways to meet people in the place you're in.
And realize that you're actually never alone, right? Because you're going to be there and you're going to meet people and you're going to make friends and you're going to travel and you're going to move around and people will just sort of go with you but their spirit will go with you kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I always feel like I was never alone.
I like that. That's actually great advice to always think. And I've said that before too in traveling, you know, alone, even with people. My husband and I have traveled a lot, that we love to go and we love to sit even just at a bar. And then we'll just chit chat with whoever's there, if it's a local or a tourist or whomever, because I've never actually stayed in a hostel, but there's opportunities everywhere. Talk to the servers, talk to, you know, a guide, and then just figure out where to go and how to meet people. But you're right. You're never alone. That's really good advice to take. Man, I love it. I love the adventures. So switching gears into now. Okay. Fast forward.
Yes.
You are now an adult.
Am I?
You've air quotations. Okay, I've air quoted that.
Thank you.
You have now made it to your final destination. I doubt that.
I was going to say, I don't think so.
I doubt that. Talk about Commercial Bear Viewing Association. Yeah. How did you get into it?
Oh,
It's such a unique association. It's something I didn't even know existed.
Yeah, not a lot of people do.
No. And it's something that, I mean, bear viewing I knew. I've mentioned before, you know, when we first chatted, I'd never seen a bear. Now I've seen a bear. Lived in BC all my life. Finally seen a bear. But yeah, talk a bit about that experience and how it came to be.
Yeah, it's a right time, right place kind of experience, I think. Serendipity, perfect storm kind of thing. I was just finishing my master's at Royal Roads University, so my Master of Arts in Tourism Management, and the director at the time was friends with the owner of Maple Leaf Adventures down here.
Oh,
so
who
Kevin,
I met last night.
Kevin,
lovely.
Yeah, and I needed to do an internship. Yeah. And he needed somebody to come and help do work, and it just kind of worked, right? Like we fit, and I had met his wife Maureen when we were both in London for Canada Shared, Canada Squared, and we were both selling our properties. That I used to work at a lodge outside of Tofino, and so that's where we had met. And she's like, if you're ever down in Victoria, look me up, and we'll have a drink. And that's we had become friends. And so when this opportunity at Maple Leaf arrived, I was like, hey, and they're like, yeah, you're going to be a really underpaid, like overqualified intern. Like, this doesn't make sense. I'm like, but it does. So let's do it.
Yeah.
And so I was working for them, and it was great. And it's a phenomenal company, and they've just grown and done great stuff. But they tell me now, they're like, we saw your potential. And they are one of the founding members of the Commercial Bear Viewing Association. And at the time, it was being run off the side of somebody's desk. And they were, a volunteer board, and they still are. But everybody was kind of just doing little bits. And they're like, we need an executive director. And it was kind of coming to a head. There was, the grizzly bear hunt was still around. And like, we really need this to stop. And they're like, we need somebody to be the face of the organization. And we need somebody who is going to go to the different meetings and start advocating for the bears and not just do this off the side of our desk. Like, we're a constituency, but we need to up our game.
Be there. Yeah.
We need someone to be there. So I came down to the Fairmont, and I went to the conference because they were doing their political events, and they had just hosted the MLAs, and I went in to go meet everybody. And all the operators were there, and we went to the Bengal Lounge afterwards, and it was Dean Wyatt at the time, who is the former owner of Night Inlet Lodge, and like the founding father of bear viewing in this province. And he's like, this is what we want to do, and this is what we're going to do, and we want you. And I'm like, can I think about it? And he sat there, he just kind of looked at me like, I came back, I think I took a sip of my drink, I'm like, okay, yes. And he's like, too late. I'm like, what?
You thought too long.
You thought too long. I'm like, damn. And he's like, no, just kidding. So it went from there.
Yeah.
And so, started off part-time and then grew into full-time. And it did start with like, I took it off of somebody's desk, and it was this small little fledgling organization. And I lovingly say that I created a monster, because it's like a monster with multiple heads that just go everywhere. But I love my job, and I'm passionate about it.
Yeah.
And as I say, like that love for the outdoors and the love for conservation and animals and all that kind of stuff. And it just makes sense. It's just to me, it's a perfect fit.
Which they clearly saw in you at that time when you didn't even know.
Yeah, totally.
How much of a fit it really was.
Yeah.
So what is it that you guys do?
So I represent, we do two things. There is the operator side of it, and then the guide side of it. But essentially, the overall is advocating for the Bear Viewing Association. So the commercial operators that take guests bear viewing. And so bears literally like, that's how I say it to people all the time, and I get that reaction. Grizzly bears, black bears, and spirit bears.
Yeah.
Right? And so you can be lodge-based, boat-based, day trip operator, overnight operator, whatever. All of the different types of operations. Yeah. And so we have best practices. We have our certification. So we have the Commercial Bear Viewing Association Level 1, 2, and 3 guide. The Level 1 is a 2-day course. And so then there's the guide side of it.
Yeah.
Where, the certifications and sort of amplifying the guide voice and understanding how important the guides are for the front line and that guest interaction and the conservation and all that kind of stuff. And then the operator side is like, okay, you guys as business need to have somebody who speaks for business interest, right? And somebody who understands the business interest and will help shift and shape policy that will enable your business to flourish. So whether it's Indigenous or non-Indigenous, I represent business interests. And so we have both Indigenous and non-Indigenous operators. And, I speak highly of every operator that I have. And every single person who is a member of the Commercial Bear Viewing Association has the best thoughts about the bears and their business in mind. Because without the bears, we don't have a business.
No business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're all lovely people.
Yeah.
Every single one of them is amazing. Every single one of them has great business practice. And every single one of them has become a friend over the years.
And how many members are there?
There's 27 members, and we have 300 or so, give or take, every year, up to date guides.
Yeah.
And we've certified probably 1,000
Wow.
over the years since the certification started.
And started 2001.
2001.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And what do you see is the most popular type of bear trip or bear viewing excursion? Is it usually attached to a lodge? Is it separate? Is it
I think it depends on the person and what their itinerary is or where they've come from. Day trip is easier, right? Like you go somewhere and you that's part of your itinerary. You're going around, maybe you have a week and you want to do stuff, right?
Yeah.
So you go and you get your day trip in, and you go and you see a bear and have an amazing experience, right?
Yeah.
Culturally, environmentally, with the bears, with the group, with the guide, right? Because the guides are like the essence of these trips, and that front line and that interaction. And so that's one experience. And then you can, go to a lodge for a couple of days and go and have, from high end to rustic, amazing, and just go and see bears for days on end. Right? And just like your life revolves around bears day in and day out. And I have experienced it at so many of these different lodges where it's like, oh my God, you wake up and you eat and you get dressed and you go and you see bears. And then you come back and you eat and you rest and then you get dressed and you go and you see bears.
I love it.
So do I.
Wow.
Right? And then there's boats. And it's the small ship tours where you're on a boat and it is amazing. Right? And whether it's a sailboat or it's a boat with a motor, well, sailboats have motors as well, but like the tugboat from Maple Leaf or Ocean Light or whatever, and then you are going around from place to place and doing a boat-based experience, and you get to experience that for 5 to 8 days, and it's just incredible. The amount of, so I've been in the Great Bear Rainforest on one of these boats, and it is whales, bears, eagles, like wildlife galore, rainforest all around you, right? Like cultural, like immersion in all of this. And it's just like you wake up and you're in awe every single day.
It's very interesting because I don't know if Canada, and I know there's a lot of marketing that's going on for northern tourism for getting out to the Great Bear Rainforest and doing it respectfully and in ways that you leave it in a better place than you left it, kind of thing, or you know what I'm saying, right? Than when you arrived. But it's interesting because when people think of Africa, they think of safaris. It would be incredible if when people think of BC, they think of that type of safari.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's a bear safari.
It
It's no hunting, but because that is something that I think a lot of people forget, that we have this beauty. And I'm guilty of it. I travel all over the world and then I barely travel where I live. So it's something that I know that I want to do more of and see more of too.
Yeah, and all corners of this province are stunning. And I'm proud to say that I have been pretty much everywhere in this province, and it is stunning everywhere you go in a different way, right? And everywhere is a different experience, and every single one of them is going to be fantastic. I mean, this is coming straight from experience.
Yeah.
I am so lucky that I have been able to have the experiences that I've had in the bear viewing world, and I have experienced a lot of it. And
any standout moments for you or places in BC?
Oh, gosh.
That have your heart?
Oh, my God. Oh, what a question. That's a hard one to answer. No, I mean, the whole province is just phenomenal. I think maybe driving into Stewart the first time.
Oh, Stewart,
BC.
Where is Stewart, BC?
North of Kitwanga. So from Smithers to Terrace.
Okay.
There's the highway that goes, and then there's a stop. And it's the highway that will take you north to the Yukon.
Okay.
And there's another spot up there. And I used to work on the highway up there at Belle-Two Lodge for Last Frontier heli skiing. And on the way up, there's another little off-road where it's Stewart, and it's Stewart, British Columbia. And it's like a working ghost town, practically. And there's really nothing there, but that's where the post office was. So we used to have to go in from the lodge all the time. And I remember the first time I drove in, and it's the Bear Glacier.
Oh.
And it is just steep and beautiful, and like that awe-inspiring, like, where am I? And then you get into this tiny little town that is like this picturesque little, colorful little nothing that's there. And you're like, this is beautiful.
Wow. Stewart, BC.
Stewart, BC. Who knew?
Yeah, who knew?
I know.
Population of?
Like 2. Sorry, Stewart.
Stewart, BC is going to be like, excuse me?
Like 20 maybe? I have no idea. 20. It's been a long time since I've been there.
Oh, wow.
But that's what my memory of it was.
Yeah.
Like the first time driving in was like, what?
Where am I?
Where am I? This is... Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
And that's the unique thing about getting off the beaten track, taking a car instead of a plane, trying something new and different, because you end up seeing these little stops that you never would have seen before.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. With what you guys are doing with the Bear Viewing Association, a lot of it revolves around sustainability. Yes. And again, leaving it better than when you arrived. What do you either implement for the guides, for the businesses to help keep that sustainability?
Well, it's ultimately our best practices, right? And so our best practices are a document that was formed, and it's a living document, right? So through research, through knowledge, through experience, from biologists to researchers to operators and guides, like it's a constantly evolving and upgrading document, but it's something that we live by. And it keeps the business and the operation going, because being able to read bear's behavior and understand what the bear is saying to you allows for bear viewing to happen, right? So understanding what that respectful distance is, understanding that the bear is like, you know what, I know that you're there, you're just gonna stay there, right? You're just gonna stay, and it's great, I'm just gonna be over here doing my bear thing. Well, no, wait a second, and understanding that ear twitch is, I'm not comfortable anymore. It's like that first sign of, okay, wait a second. But then, there's times where moms will leave their cubs with a group of humans to sort of babysit. Not like with them, like, hey, leave, that kind of thing. But because boars will come in and will sadly eat the cubs, the moms have realized, wait a second, the boars won't do that, because, and so babies end up, like cubs end up while the mom goes out fishing. And it's become this interesting dynamic that has been researched, and it's really, really, really cool. That's what happens with out there.
Unreal.
And it's because of a respectful relationship, right? We're not pushing ourselves into situations that make bears uncomfortable. We're not chasing them. We're not doing any of that kind of stuff. It is a respectful distance. It is quiet. It is no smells, no food, no anything. And we are trying to just be in their world.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really unique and important. And I instantly, my brain goes to hiking in Rwanda with gorillas.
Oh.
I have not done this, but it is on my list.
Yes.
I'm not even, I'm a hiker, but I'm not like a crazy hiker. But that, I think, would be really, really incredible. But it's the same thing. There's respect. There's rules. You would never do it alone.
No.
Right? So the exact same way with the bear viewing, and to make sure that it stays respectful.
Yeah. And so, go with somebody who knows, who's been trained, who has that knowledge and that understanding, and has done the research and knows what's going on about the bear and what they're saying to you.
Absolutely.
Bear biology, ecology, the flora, the fauna, guest relations, like somebody who's going to be able to manage a group properly. Yeah, it's still commercial operator.
I've said this to you before, I need to go on one of these trips. It has to happen.
I think we should make it happen.
It needs to happen.
Totally.
Like, I have to. So we'll figure it out.
Okay.
We'll figure it out. I'll talk. I know my husband would be in, so we'll figure something out, make a trip out of it.
Yeah.
So I want to ask, final question to you. What is a really good piece of advice that you have gotten over the years, whether it comes to business or tourism, and it's just something that someone said that's going to last forever?
Walk barefoot more often.
Ooh. Ooh, I love that.
I just got the chills.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was at my convocation ceremony from Bishops. So I went to Bishops University for my undergrad, and it was our convocation. And it was I don't remember the man's name, but one of the things that he said to us in his speech at our convocation was walk barefoot more often. And those are words that I have lived by. And it's not just literally like take your shoes off and be barefoot, but that sense of being that comes with that easiness of being barefoot and casual and enjoying life, right? Like feel the earth, feel the experiences, feel what's happening around you, and remember it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is excellent advice. And I absolutely do agree with you. It is so important. And I've never thought about being barefoot as more than just being physically barefoot. Because I've heard that, like, feel the earth beneath your feet. But to actually have it where you're being casual, be you, immerse. Oh, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing your story, for being here with us, sharing your energy. Absolutely love it. I hope this inspires many people to dance on bar tables.
Oh my God, do.
The one thing, the one thing.
Well, that's also like that. Even if you don't actually physically dance on a bar table, have that energy about you.
Have the energy.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
I know, me too.
So much to take away from this. I really know it's going to be an inspiration for many, so thank you. Where can people find you? Website, social media?
Commercial Bear Viewing Association. We are at Bear Viewing BC on Instagram. We are on Facebook, and we dabble in the Twitter world every once in a while. Sorry, X.
X, I don't have it. I don't know.
And I mean, I used to be more active on it, but definitely Instagram.
Okay.
And Instagram is where you're going to get all of the amazing bear photos. It's like bear, 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 bear. It's amazing.
Can't handle it.
I know. It's great.
I love it. Thank you again so much.
Thank you.
When it comes to beautiful British Columbia, Vancouver Island is definitely one place to put high on your bucket list. As your island gateway, Nanaimo Airport is conveniently nestled in the central island. It's located right between the hubs of the Cowichan Valley and Nanaimo, and you're only moments away from the ocean surf, mountain bike trails, year-round golf, wineries, and majestic mountains, just to name a few. The air terminal building has more than tripled in size over the years thanks to many projects that have taken place and a 20-year expansion plan for the building. And super fun fact, did you know that Nanaimo Airport actually started out as a base for the Royal Canadian Air Force? It was for glider pilot training facilities and wartime emergency airfield. And now more than 80 years later, it's a regional airport that's connecting Vancouver Island to the world. So definitely put Nanaimo Airport on your next destination list when you go to Vancouver Island. So go get outside and explore. If you like this episode, please subscribe, download a few more, and leave a review. I really would love to hear from you, what you enjoyed and what your key takeaways were. And of course, please let me know if there's any aspect of the travel industry you want me to talk about next. You can also search for the hashtag #SheDaresToTravelPodcast on Instagram and comment on the episode's post with your questions. I'd love to answer them all for you guys. I hope you enjoy your day, stay so well, and until next time, fly straight.